At the end of my junior year, when we started looking at options for our senior project locations, I was basically sure of what I wanted to do. I had my whole life planned out to a T and knew that I wanted to do a senior project that would give me an upper hand when applying to colleges and would give me opportunities in my future careers. At this point in time, I was absolutely certain that I either wanted to be a journalist or a lawyer. I reached out to multiple organizations that related to these career paths, including the paper. I interviewed with the paper over the spring break of my junior year and decided during that very first interview that this was the site I wanted for my project. In a somewhat ironic series of events, my entire life plan was completely uprooted the day after my interview. I felt really lost and wasn't sure of who I was or what I was doing. When I started my project over the summer, I was having a really hard time finding motivation to do anything and didn't really feel like I had a purpose. I didn't feel like I was gaining anything positive from my experience, and I didn't feel like I was adding anything to their organization. I decided that it wasn't a positive place for me to be in and decided to end my time there. After speaking with my mentor from the paper and us both agreeing I should not be doing it if my heart wasn't in it, I found myself out of a project at the beginning of the school year. Trying to figure out what mattered to me at this point in my life was really hard. At first, I decided that doing a mentorship with my favorite teacher from elementary school was a great choice. We went through all of the beginning stages of setting up the project, but unfortunately, she accepted a job at a school that was unable to host volunteers, and I was once again out of a project. Around this time, I started rekindling my passion for film. When I was younger, I had always wanted to go to film school. I talked to my advisor, and she connected me to Basement Films. I started my project here almost right away. I really enjoyed the things I was doing at Basement Films and looked forward to going in for volunteer work, which is a feeling I had lacked at the paper. However, this project was not free of issues. I wasn't getting enough hours, I was really struggling to connect with my mentor, and I once again felt really useless and felt like I was not adding any value to my site. Around late November, early December, I got really sick and started having zero motivation to get out of bed, and ran into tons of scheduling issues with my project. Eventually, it was once again decided that this was not the right place for me to be. I was ranting to my friends in class about my struggles with finding a project that stuck, and a fellow classmate, Adelio, overheard me and recommended his project site of the public library. I spent some time thinking about it, and I remembered all the great memories I had of going to the library as a child and the safety and joy I still feel there. I have always made a routine of going to the library at least once a month, and I really love the environment. Adelio got me connected with his mentor, Sarah Armstrong, and I set up an interview. I immediately connected with Sarah during my interview and was super excited to start my project. The things I lacked in all of my previous projects all fell into place at the library. I felt I had purpose and connected to the people around me. I looked forward to my volunteer shifts for the first time during my whole project. I have changed a lot over the course of my project. I learned about what was important to me and who I am as a person. I learned communication skills and how to be a stronger, more resilient person even through challenges. I had a really hard time figuring out how I changed my community. My personal growth was really easy to understand, but the lack of consistency in my project made figuring out what my body of work truly was difficult. But doing reflection made me realize what I consistently brought to each of my projects. Kindness. I did not complete a large body of work in the same way as other students, and I had a somewhat atypical senior project experience. But I feel like I consistently brought kindness and connection to my projects. I tried to get to know my peers and leaders, and at the library, I used this kindness and connection in the community. In the end, I may have not had a completed project to hold up and say, "Look, this is what I have done." But I like to think that I brought positivity into my communities, and in the end, that is what is most important to me, and it reflects the things that I want to do in my life, even if I don't have exactly how I want to do that pinpointed quite yet.